such an extent that sometimes the man or the woman may lose his or her appetite. They don't even think of, for example, food. All they think of is the partner to be. And on marriage too, when they marry, they only think of one another. Day in, day out. That was one example. Maybe it wasn't very good to me. I'll give another example. Once, Ayatollah Mar'ashi, since he was in love with his work, he would study so deeply that after many days he realized he didn't have anything to eat for a few days. So it's not difficult. This is love of Allah now that Prophet Musa had for 40 days and 40 nights. The 40th day, something happened. The 40th day will be the 10th of Dhul Hajjah, the day after tomorrow, which is Eid al-Adha. The 40 days of spiritual wayfaring of Hazrat Musa alayhi salam finished on Eid al-Adha. What happened? Communion, unity with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He saw Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with the eyes of the heart. Now, I'll read these verses. Now, in Imam Khomeini's tafsir of Surah Al-Hamd, those who are interested, you can read what he writes, but I'll go through it in brief. وَلَمَّا جَاءَ مُوسَى لِمِيقَاتِنَا وَكَلَّمَهُ رَبُّهُ. When Moses arrived at the miqat, the meeting place, and his Lord spoke to him, قَالَ رَبِّي أَرِنِي أَنظُرْ إِلَيْكَ. O Lord, show yourself to me. Arini, so that I may see you. Show yourself. After 40 days of Sayr Suluk, this is where one can attain, the levels that one can attain to. The goal is seeing Allah. The goal is being a manifestation of Allah's attributes. That we also, like the Christians, have the tradition that Allah created man in His own image. Yes, we too can acquire those divine attributes and be Allah-like. قَالَ رَبِّي أَرِنِي أَنظُرْ إِلَيْكَ, so that I may see you. قَالَ لَن تَرَانِي. Then he said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you will not see me. Then Imam speaks about this very nice in his tafsir of Surah Al-Hamd, with very delicate terms. He says, as long as you're Musa, as long as you are you, as long as there's an I, the first person singular, you won't be able to see me. Walakin, however, I am seeable. There is a get out clause here. Walakin unzur ila al-jabal. Look at the mountain. فَإِنِ اسْتَقَرَّ مَكَانَهُ فَسَوْفَ تَرَانِي. If it abides in its place, then you will see me. فَلَمَّا تَجَلَّى رَبُّهُ لِلْجَبَالِ. When his Lord disclosed himself to the mountain, جَعَلَهُ دَكَّا. He, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, leveled the mountain. Leveled it. جَعَلَهُ دَكَّا. وَخَرَّ مُوسَى سَائِغًا. Now what is this mountain? This is Imam saying this. Imam said in one of his works, he said, if there were people around Musa there, no one would have seen the mountain. That mountain which Musa alayhi salam was on is still there. It's not crumbled, it's not leveled. Today the mountain is still there, intact. This wasn't the physical mountain here. This was a tamathul again, an apparition, a vision. Where did this vision emanate from? From the nafs of Musa alayhi salam. And then Imam commentates, he says maybe it's reflective of the stage of egoism in Musa. Now egoism in relation to Musa isn't like egoism in relation to us. Then Imam says in the previous verse, the first episode in the mountain, Musa had fana'ul af'ali, but annihilation in Allah has degrees. He didn't have higher degrees of fana. And that's what he acquired in this journey up the mountain, where his nafs was crumbled, was leveled by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then when he fell unconscious, وَخَرَّ مُوسَى سَائِغًا, we have traditions of the Ahlul Bayt that say, "Ay mata," he died. But this wasn't a physical death. It was a death of his identity. There's no I anymore. Complete fana, annihilation in Allah's attributes, and according to some scholars, in Allah's essence. He fasted for 40 days and nights. As-sawmu li. Allah says in a sacred tradition, As-sawmu, fasting, is mine. Wa ana ujza bihi. Wa ana ujza, and I, Allah, shall be rewarded by means of it. The reward of fasting is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As-sawmu li. The reward of fasting is acquiring that unity with Allah. Allah is the reward. Not that Allah rewards you. The reward is Allah. You being a manifestation of Allah's attributes. This is portrayed in another sacred tradition where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, "Man talabani faqad wajadani." Whoever seeks me will find me. وَمَنْ وَجَدَنِي فَقَدْ عَرَفَنِي, and whoever finds me will acknowledge me. وَمَنْ عَرَفَنِي فَقَدْ أَحَبَّنِي, whoever acknowledges me will like me. وَمَنْ أَحَبَّنِي أَشَقَنِي, and whoever likes me, Allah, will love me. وَمَنْ أَشَقَنِي أَشَقْتُهُ, and whoever loves me, I, Allah, will love them. وَمَنْ أَشَقْتُهُ قَتَلْتُهُ, and whoever I love, I shall kill. Now this isn't the killing of the physical form, the killing of the ego. There'll be no more I. Because we can't get rid of the I. We have something which is called in philosophy hubbul dhati, an essential love in relation to our I. We can commit suicide physically, but spiritual suicide we can't do. Allah has to take away the I. We just have to reach that preface. وَمَنْ أَشَقْتُهُ قَتَلْتُهُ, whoever I love, I shall kill. وَمَنْ قَتَلْتُهُ فَعَلَيَّ دِيَّتُهُ, and whoever I kill, whoever I, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, kill, their blood money, their diya is upon me, Allah. وَمَنْ عَلَيَّ دِيَّتُهُ أَنَا دِيَّتُهُ, and whoever's blood money is upon me, I am the blood money. What does that mean? It's all Allah now. You are a true manifestation of Allah's attributes. There's no more I. Your hands, your tongue, your legs, it's all Allah acting in this world. Now, in the next story, I'm not sure how long I have. If someone can just indicate so I can... This next story is the story of Lady Maryam alayha salam. فَاتَّخَذَتْ مِن دُونِهِمْ حِجَابًا فَأَرْسَلْنَا إِلَيْهَا رُوحَنَا. Thus did she seclude herself from them, whereupon we sent to her our spirit, the spirit being Archangel Gabriel. فَتَمَثَّلَ لَهَا بَشَرًا سَوِيًّا. فَتَمَثَّلَ لَهَا. Ayatollah Hassan Zadeh, on this clause, laha, has spoken a lot. What does this mean? فَتَمَثَّلَ لَهَا بَشَرًا سَوِيًّا. If you look through the translations of the Holy Quran, many people, many translators fall short here. Maybe the translation is, and he appeared, Jibreel appeared for her as a well-proportioned human. فَتَمَثَّلَ لَهَا. One of the reasons that the Quran can't be translated is because the irfan of the Quran, the Gnosticism, the mysticism of the Quran is concealed in the prepositions. It's concealed in the huruf al-jar, the prepositions, the particles. The irfan of the Quran is in the prepositions. Otherwise, common nouns can be easily translated into Arabic. But prepositions can be very delicate. What does laha mean? Ayatollah Hassan Zadeh calls this lam in laha, lam or rabt, the lam of unity. Lahu ma fi samawati wa ma fil ard. Whatever is in the heavens and earth, whatever is in unity with Allah. This is wahdatul wujud here. We only have one existent, one true independent existent, and that's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Everything else are just manifestations of this one real independent existence. The lam of unity. فَتَمَثَّلَ لَهَا. Jibreel appeared for her. What she saw, those who were around Lady Maryam alayha salam, no one saw Jibreel. When she saw Jibreel, no one else saw Jibreel. She saw Jibreel. So it wasn't a physical Jibreel. This too is an apparition. But this one is very easy to understand. It's a tamathul, because the verse in the Quran explicitly says فَتَمَثَّلَ. It's a tamathul. It's an apparition. It's a product of Lady Maryam's nafs. This is a very important point here. She ascended the realms of existences. She went higher than Barzakh. She surpassed and transcended the realm of intellect. She unveiled data from those high realms. On her downward journey, that data which she was able to unveil in the higher realms of existences became converted into apparitions. And this apparition, do you know what, like the dreams which I spoke about in the beginning? But she was awake. The conversion of that data into Barzakhi pictures was the Barzakhi image of Jibreel. As what? As a human being. Why a human being? Maybe because the data which she received was that she was to give birth to a son. فَتَمَثَّلَ لَهَا بَشَرًا سَوِيًّا. The food which Hazrat Maryam had, the Quran says the food was from heaven. The food was a tamathul too. Don't you dream of food when you're asleep? Don't you eat? Don't you drink when you're asleep? But because of her high status, she would have the food whilst awake. That's one possible interpretation that some scholars say. Now you may say, no, this was physical food. Okay, that's also acceptable. According to the standard criteria of tafsir, we can accept that too. But this way, this is possible too. Angels have two forms of existences. One is the immaterial existence that they have, which is immaterial, has no size, no shape, no color, is not limited by time and place. But Jibreel here wasn't the immaterial, wasn't the essence of Jibreel. It was a manifestation of Jibreel, produced by the nafs of Lady Maryam. We believe this too in relation to the Holy Prophet during Revelation. Ayatollah Hassan Zadeh has spoken a lot about this in his works. Ibn Sina writes in his treatise on prophethood, سميت الملائكة بأسامي مختلفة لأجل معاني مختلفة والجملة واحدة غير متجزئة بذاتها إلا بالعرض من أجل تجزي المقابل. Here, when Ayatollah Hassan Zadeh quoted this from Ibn Arabi, from Ibn Sina, he said that this one sentence in the treatise of Nubuwwah by Ibn Sina explains a lot of our ma'arif. Angels, there's the immaterial angel, the true essence of what Jibreel is. But also we have angels which are products of people's nafs, depending on the person. Nakir and Munkar have a real immaterial essence, but Nakir and Munkar is different for everyone. Why? Because everyone has their own Nakir and Munkar, depending on their soul. If you were evil, Nakir and Munkar will manifest in one way. Everyone has their own Nakir and Munkar. Why? Because the angel is the barzakh. These are barzakhi manifestations produced by you. They're products of you and your actions. In the hereafter they will be manifested. فَتَمَثَّلَ لَهَا بَشَرًا سَوِيًّا. We have many stories in the Holy Quran like this. Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam, 4 angels came, beautiful and well dressed. This story, I can expand on this story a lot, but I think time is over now. So I'll just go very briefly through 1 or 2 stories so that you can then research it yourselves. 4 angels came. He saw them beautiful and well dressed. He didn't know they were angels at first. They were products of his own nafs. They were barzakhi manifestations of that abstract data which is now converted by his soul. Only when he lay the tablecloth and brought a roasted calf, he saw that they couldn't touch the meat, couldn't eat. He was scared. Because in those days, if someone doesn't eat what you offer on the tablecloth, that's a sign of enmity. When they saw him scared, they said, we are messengers of Allah, we are angels. We're here to give you good news that abstract data into barzakhi manifestations. The news was glad tidings for your wife, Sareh alayhi salam. She was almost 100 years old. She also saw those angels. Those angels were products of the nafs of Ibrahim. How did Sareh see? Excuse me, time is up. There's another session. Oh, after your speech. Sorry about that. Since there's another session, I don't want to take their time. So I'll just conclude. These tamatholat are open to everyone. During these 40 nights and 40 days, especially these 10 days of the month of Dhul Hajjah, this was the goal. The day after tomorrow, inshallah, you've reached some degree of this goal. If you don't feel any different, if you haven't made an endeavor or if you haven't striven spiritually, and you feel the same as you were, this should cause your heart to ache. All these programs of spiritual wayfaring during the year with specific etiquette, it's for our growth. It's not there willy-nilly. We really have to make an effort.